we're just going to pick up where we left off last week. 2 weeks ago, we started talking about this particular specific idea. Been talking for a number of weeks now about the idea of running to the battle. When we know that there's something that we need to address in our lives, that we know God is with us, and so that we don't avoid it, we just go right to it and know that He's going to be with us and He's going to help us get through that. So a few weeks ago, we started talking about this battle to maintain our peace, to protect our peace, to be a person of peace. And so today, as we talk about protecting our peace, we're going to talk about, we're going to continue on that. We were talking about forgiveness and how withholding it from others can compromise our peace. But forgiveness must be our priority. And if forgiveness is truly my priority, then my ultimate goal must be to find a way to love people who have hurt me, because eventually everybody is going to get hurt. If you're going to be in a relationship of any kind for any length of time, and that relationship could be just a coworker, it could be somebody who's in a class at school with you. It doesn't have to be something where you decided to have a relationship. All it needs to be is that you are in the same place as somebody else, and if you're in the same place as somebody else long enough, you are going to have, or that you have some sort of relationship. You are interacting. They are recognizing things in you because they see you and they're near you, and you're going to recognize things in them because you see them and you're near them. And so for us, what we want to be able to do within those times of our lives, as we go through life, from relationship to relationship, from work to school to home to things out and about here at the Acres, whatever it is for us, we're always running into people. When we run into people, we want them to see Jesus in us. That's really why we're here. Otherwise, why wouldn't have God have just said, oh, you want to follow me? Then come on up. And you just get sucked right up to heaven. But He leaves us here because we're working through things. Paul calls it working out our salvation. And so, as we are trying to maintain these relationships, we have to remember that our ultimate goal isn't to tolerate somebody. It's not just to, get along. It's not just, I don't really like that person, so I've got to find a way to maintain distance and avoid them enough so that it's okay. No. Our ultimate goal is to find a way to love people. And in particular, the difficult one is find a way to love people who have hurt us, because that's just going to happen, whether somebody means it or not. It's going to happen at some point. We're going to hurt people, and people are going to hurt us. Maybe sometimes it's not that big a deal. It's like stubbing your toe. It feels really bad in the moment, and then 5 minutes later you forgot that it was there. Maybe it's not that big a deal, but there are going to be other times that we think maybe, it wasn't that big a deal, but then later down the line you realize, you know what? I'm still thinking about it. I'm still bothered by it, right? And so we've talked about the idea of not withholding forgiveness. Talked about one way to do that is that we could find a way to love somebody and take some actions to do that. We're going to take it to the next step this week, because if we have decided that we can't let go, if we can't let go of that hurt, I think we can get by. It's just not true. And here's where the Bible is going to address that for us. So we're going to start today in Hebrews 12:15, where it says this: see to it that no one fails to obtain the grace of God, and that no root of bitterness springs up and causes trouble, and by it many become defiled. Now we're going to talk about this because I know that there's some words in there and some ideas that might be tough to grasp. But there's our memory challenge for next week, because that's the whole talk today in a nutshell right there. So, just as it was God's heart for you to have a relationship with Him, it's also His heart that others also have a relationship with Him. God does everything here on earth, everything here through relationships. So if you want grace, if you want mercy, if you want forgiveness, it's going to come through a person, it's not going to come directly from God. God can take care of everything on his own. We've talked about this before, but he has determined to do everything here through his people and in relationships. Even that's a relationship between you and God. And then he establishes that relationship, he fills us, and then we establish another relationship here. And then what he gives us, we give out. That's how other people get it. And it's also how we get it, because it comes through others and comes to us. So if we want grace and mercy and forgiveness, we're going to have to be in relationship to receive that even from God. Which also means it will also come for other people through you. Grace, mercy, encouragement, love, forgiveness, patience, kindness. All of those things that God provides, they are going to come for other people through you. Or maybe they won't. Which means that people around you will not receive grace or mercy or forgiveness if you are determined not to let them through. If you're determined not to bless others with what God has given you. The reason we're talking about this today is because if we're unwilling to forgive, the ultimate result of continuing to carry unforgiveness is bitterness. That root of bitterness. If we hold on to unforgiveness long enough, we become bitter. And I know that may be like, well, what does that really mean? Well, do you know what it means when somebody's sweet? We do. We think of somebody as sweet when they're kind, they're upbeat, they're lighthearted, they're soft, they're good to be around. They're those people that when you're in the room with them, even if you don't really have that much to do with them, you leave and you just feel a little bit better. That's sweet. Well, bitter is the opposite of sweet. It's hard, it's harsh, it's edgy, it's cranky. It's the opposite of sweet. Bitterness, though, inside of us, that's how bitterness is communicated around. Bitterness inside of us is just this. It's uncommitted revenge. Bitterness is unacted revenge. It's us in our heart continuing to think, that person, for what they did to me, they are going to get it. They deserve to get it. They deserve what's coming to them. But if you have no way to make that happen, to make sure that they get what you think is coming to them, then it just sits in here and it just eats away at the inside of you. It's revenge unfulfilled. And they don't know it. The likelihood of them understanding, oh, I feel so bad about this revenge you're not able to take out on me. It just doesn't, they probably aren't aware of it at all. But we are being controlled by it. We're being made sick over it. So we've got to find a way around this. It's up to people who follow God to extend His grace to others. And we can do that through patience and kindness and forgiveness. But if we choose not to, this scripture tells us that we're likely to become defiled. Now, you probably aren't using that word every day of the week, defiled. But that word, as it's written here, as it's translated here, could have also just been translated as poisoned. So, the writer of this verse in Hebrews could have said it like this: make sure everyone experiences the grace of God through you. If you can help it, don't let anyone hold on to unforgiveness, because if they do, it will make life difficult for everyone. And many will actually be poisoned by it. So, make sure everyone experiences the grace of God through you. You don't even need the rest of this if you'll do that. if you will make it your purpose to make sure that the grace of God, mercy of God, the kindness of God is making it into you and through you and to others, then there's no way that the unforgiveness sticks. There's no way it becomes troublesome throughout your relationships and the places that you are. And you won't have to worry about the poison, because this verse starts out with the antidote to that poison. Make sure, make absolute positive, as much as it's in your control, make certain everyone experiences the grace of God. So what that means is grace, right? Okay, so the way we're talking about it today, here's all that means. Have you ever I don't know, for most of us in the room, so you have an assignment that's due at school, and you don't get it done on time, and the teacher says, well, you know what? There's actually a grace period. You can turn it in a week late, and I'll give you credit like you did it right the first time and you turned it in on time. You still did it wrong. You still fell short. You didn't do what you were supposed to do, but the teacher says, you know what? I'm going to pretend you did, as long as you get it right within a certain extra period of time. So around us in our relationships, if we will say to everyone around us, you know what? You didn't do that right toward me the first time. You were mean. You were gossiping about me. You were bullying me. You were rage baiting me, trying to get me to do the wrong thing, trying to get me to be angry, trying to get me to sin while you're sinning at the same time. But grace says, I'm going to pretend that's not the way it is. I mean, pretend is not exactly the right word. I'm going to act as if that hasn't happened, because that's what God did for me. God looked at me and he said, you have done the wrong thing over and over again. You've earned a punishment. But Jesus took your punishment, and so you are free from having to pay for what you've done. That's Jesus saying this right here. That's Jesus making certain that everyone around him experiences the grace of God. Well, we can do the same. We can just distribute what he's given to us. Now, you may have heard someone say that withholding forgiveness is like drinking poison but expecting the other person to die. This is that idea in Scripture right there. We are called to a lifestyle of forgiveness. That just means that we are called to live our life forgiving and forgiving and forgiving. That would mean it a lifestyle. It's the way that it's the style by which my life is marked. Forgiving, forgiving, forgiving. Just means it should be something we go around doing on a regular basis. Colossians 3:12, we talked about this last week. We're going to touch on this quite a bit now. Colossians 3:12, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy, dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. If you want to be able to forgive well and live at peace and maintain that peace and protect that peace, then every day you get up and you go to Jesus, however you do that, prayer, devotions, listening when one of the devotions is given in the dining hall, and just trying to find a way to get something out of that for yourself. Every day you get up, you go to Jesus, and you get what you need, and then you pull that on top of yourself. You put it over top of yourself. That's how you clothe yourself with it. Over top of your hurt. And I'm not saying it's not there or that it's just something you should just, whatever, it's not so bad. It's not like stubbing your toe. This only matters if it's a hurt that you can't get past any other way. But you take that hurt and that anger and you're feeling that feeling you have that says, I deserve to be repaid. You take that and over top of it, you pull on over top of that the love and the compassion and the kindness and the humility, gentleness, and patience that you need to be able to forgive. To forgive those who have hurt you and those who may hurt you that day. This doesn't just work for the stuff in the past. If you'll do this every day, then when you go out into the world to school, work, jobs, just out and about here on the property, you'll be ready to forgive the people who hurt you in that moment, that are going to hurt you today. So I'd like to use the rest of our time here to illustrate how that might feel. And so this may get a little off the rails because I can't plan this out completely. But my concern is that even though we talk about this, and we take even just one or two scriptures and we go through it line by line and we talk about how it could work and where you could apply it and how it could actually make your life better and serve those around you, that it's still completely possible, and I know it's happening, that we have even the people who will bother to memorize a scripture and come up here and hold on to it and memorize it enough to go, here, give me that microphone. All right, it's this, and say the whole thing out loud, that we still don't really know what it means. We still don't really know how we're going to do it. So I think we need to see it differently and know how it feels, and I'm not always sure how that's going to work out. But today, because of this scripture, what I want to illustrate for you is that we need to dress for battle. Remember, the whole point of this, we're running to the battle line. We're recognizing that it's tough to forgive people, and it's going to always need to be necessary to forgive people. So then rather than avoid it and have it poison us and make life around us difficult for everybody, we are going to run to the battle line. We're going to go to where God is working, join him there, and see what he does, because we are going to partner with him and not avoid the situation. So in this case, we are going to dress for battle. We're going to clothe ourselves with these ideas. So I'm going to need an assistant. I'm going to need a volunteer. Gianna, you want to come up here? You raised your hand, right? So you come and you be like right here. Like right here. Got all my junk here, but just right here. Thank you for coming up. All right, so all of this stuff is clean. I don't want you to like, hey, what is this? Where did you get this? So this is like unforgiveness. It's dark, it's heavy, it's not attractive. And so what we're going to do, see, here's the thing. If we're going to decide ahead of time that we are not going to forgive, I think we think it's us deciding not to do anything. That's not accurate. It's us deciding to hold on to this. So in the same way that we can pull on humility and kindness and love, we can also decide to keep wearing unforgiveness. Now I'm feeling kind of bad because your hair is so cute and it's all this, and I don't want to mess it up. Are you okay with this? Yes. Okay, I was going to say, you raised your hand. Now I'm like, you're looking at me like you kind of are wishing you hadn't. Okay, so we're going to put this on over you. You can help. It's okay. I don't want to mess up your stuff because you have such great style. All right, so now, just immediately, we see this on people. People are a little bit less attractive when they walk around bitter and hard, right? Gianna always looks super cute, but if I throw a big black towel over the top of her, just not the same. So then what happens is she goes to school and somebody looks at her sideways and reminds her that they got into an argument like, 6-8 months ago. And so then she realizes that she has accepted an offense. So what we're going to do is we are going to add this on to her outfit here. So now she not only has to carry this cloak here that looks kind of ugly and it's harsh and it's not colorful, it's not upbeat. I thought this was going to be easier. I need like 4 hands. But now she's got this weighing her down. So now she's got to go through the day like that. Then she remembers, oh, you know what? I remember about a week ago too, back at the acre, I got into it with somebody and they were not nice, and we never really sorted that out. And so then that also became an issue too. And now life is getting heavy. It's getting more and more difficult. So then, come home from school, you're feeling heavy, you're feeling dark, and then your house parent says something that you don't like. Oh, the rules at this joint. Had it with all the rules here. And it just gets heavier and heavier. Then you have a run-in with your bio parents or your guardians. You wanted something to go one way, it doesn't, it goes a different way. And then now you've got all this weight on you. Now you have to carry this around all the time. So my point is, we think we're not gathering this stuff. We think we're not carrying it around. And then we get used to this. I'm sure Gianna is strong, she's athletic. I have no doubt if we let her walk around in this for a week, after a week, she's going to get around like she's hardly carrying anything. And she'll stop noticing it all the time. But it's still there. It's still a problem. It's still a weight. It's still a problem. So what we actually have to do is find a way apart from this. She's got to, you can't just decide, I'm not going to deal with it. It's not there. It's still there. We can see it and she can see it. And then at some point, she's got to offload this stuff. She's got to make a deliberate effort for that to go someplace else. So then she has other possibilities come up, because you can maybe forgive house parents because they actually apologized and asked for you to forgive them. And so you say, okay, well, you know what then? I can at least forgive them, because even though I don't totally agree, they did ask for forgiveness, and I do want my peace back. I want to stop feeling all this heaviness. So we can get past the one with the house parents. So we can take away some of that weight. But your friend who offended you at school, you're still upset. So what can you do? You could talk to them and explain how you feel, and hopefully they do the same. And if that happens, then you can take off another one of these weights. Because you talked to your friend, you guys got it out in the open, and you were fine. And okay, that's a big weight. Have you ever done that, where you actually work out an issue that you have with somebody, and then you go, wow, we even sometimes say it, that's a huge weight off my shoulders. It's not entirely metaphorical. So then we run into some of the harder ones. We say, you know what? I can't actually talk to, maybe it's a parent or a guardian or somebody, maybe there's somebody in your life that has given you one of these weights, and you can't even get a hold of them. You have no idea how to talk to them. So how are you supposed to forgive them? How are you supposed to get rid of that weight? So that's what we do, what we talked about last week. We go to Jesus and we say, you know what, Lord? I can't do this. So you know what, Lord? I forgive them. I'm going to tell you that I'm forgiving them. And I want you to help me with that peace and help me through this. And so that way we can get rid of a couple more of these. So let's say that Gianna has gone through the process. She's done everything within her power anyway to try to get rid of some of these weights. Man, I wanted these to stay on here really well, and they are a little bit. So she's gone through the process. She's done everything that she thinks she can do, that she reads in Scripture to do. She's prayed about it, and now she's feeling lighter, and maybe this is still here. So now she's at least done what she can, but she's still kind of carrying this around. So unless she's willing to go, see, this is what I'm talking about. So now she has to take another step. If she wants to put on love over top of those things, then she's got to go and get it from God. She's got to go to him and say, I need the love to put over top of this. I'm not going to make you put this on. You're welcome. So that she can, this is what we see. We see the love of God. It covers over this stuff here because we went to him. But we've got to take it, and we've got to do, he says, clothe yourselves. There's a process of it, of getting into the shirt, pulling your arms through, pulling it over top. It doesn't just happen like that. We've got to take it through a process. Okay. Thank you, Janet. You want to try to help me with that so I don't mess your hair up even worse? All right. That's awesome. Thank you. Are you trying to see your reflection there? You look great. I owe you. I think there's a Starbucks gift card in your future for that. If you can't do these things, then the poison wins. That poison we talked about earlier, if you can't do one of these things, you can't find your way through this, then the poison wins and you become bitter. So what that means is you continue to think about it. You continue to not be able to get it out of your mind. It affects how you treat others. It affects how you treat others who aren't even that person. Maybe they just remind you of that person who upset you before. Maybe it's your dad, and then you get here and there's other people who are acting like a dad around you, trying to be a father to you, and you just are like angry with them all the time and they didn't even do anything. But because you're still holding on to that hurt, you're continually in your head, this is bitterness, you're continually in your head, you're making a case about how right you are and how wrong they are. And if I'm offended, I can't allow myself to make a case against that person, whether in my head or out loud, because otherwise I'm prioritizing my right to vent and my right to be repaid, and I'm putting that above my peace, and so my peace is compromised. So here's one last tool that you can use to get free. I'd like you to close your eyes. Everybody in the room, just close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes and imagine you're sitting next to a warm, cozy, comfortable fireplace in a cozy room with your cozy blanket and your loving pets gathered around you. Maybe it's Christmas time and there's a Christmas tree and there's cocoa. You're sitting next to your fireplace. But in your hand is a file folder. In your hand is a file folder. And that folder contains all the evidence of how right you are and how wrong they are. Now, you get to choose what to do with that folder. You can hold on to it and continue to build your case, or you can do what Jesus has done for you. You can forgive and take him up on his offer to give you peace. If you choose to do that, then take a hold of that file folder and toss it into the fireplace. It's gone. And you are free. And you can trust God to walk with you in maintaining that forgiveness and in healing your heart.